have it down.
Oh, do you know this?
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Bowls, pad area, dye area, slurry waste barrel,
Do you want to interview me as an artist?
clean,
Just ask me
shelf,
questions and I'll
tooling,
pretend to
racking,
be
ovens,
the artist
empty
that I'm
mop
pretending
bucket,
to be.
anything.
Oh, it's Trainspotting like, and saw that there were a lot of drugs to that film, and it just made me sort of think about my medicine cabinets and how life and death can blend into one, and how these people have this sort of faith in medicine. And then you look at Trainspotting, and there's the main character in Ewan McGregor in Trainspotting, and he's got this faith that he sort of puts out through his heroin addiction. But it just reflects our own mortality, I think.
I like that, yeah. Like the scene where someone disappears down a toilet.
Pardon?
Like the scene where someone disappears down the toilet.
Well, yeah, you can guess that, because when you're outside of the toilet, it's like you're in a reality. But once you dive through that toilet into the cesspool at the bottom of the toilet, you're in a completely alternative, hellish reality that I feel you just slip into, and sometimes it can be a lot harder to get out of it once you're in it. And I think that's the whole metaphor for the film of Trainspotting, how he struggles to get out of what he's now got into.
Yes. But Trainspotting is not just playing with effects.
Wow. That was a slightly unusual question from where we last off, but yeah, there's all sorts of unusual effects in Trainspotting, but I think the greatest effect is the effect it had on me as a viewer, and just understanding this mortality between the character and his drug addiction, and the states he can slip in.
So perhaps junkies are funny.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to illustrate with the previous few points that I'd made.
Well, how does it relate to your work?
Well, when I sort of create the shark, I imagined that'd be what would to happen at the other side of the toilet on Trainspotting. What if he dived through that toilet into this potential shark tank? And I was just always thinking about Ewan McGregor's face while I looked at the physical impossibility of death. And it was in the mind of Ewan McGregor rather than just an anonymous living person. But if we stop thinking about Trainspotting, can you just repeat the question, please?
How does it relate to your work?
How does it relate to my work? So yeah, we've got the Ewan McGregor reference, and also the way that people may see that I'm flushing myself down the toilet and creating all this fucking work in the factory.
So you basically have your negative side.
I'll always have a negative side. I mean, when you've got an ego like this, and when you're as fucking good as I am, you have to understand that sometimes people get jealous, and sometimes their pathetic jealousy just puts you down.
Is that some kind of joke?
I wouldn't say it's a joke, because when you're sincerely a better artist than everyone else in the whole world, you can start to believe these things.
Yes. Well, with the cigarette works, you're reminding people that they're dying by increments. In fact, death is all the way through the work.
Yeah, with the cigarette works, I really feel about cigarettes that it's this slow sort of suicide. Just give me this moment, so. So yeah, I mean, if you think...
Sorry, could you not smoke on set? I'm allergic to smoke.
Do you know who the fuck I am?
I do.
So if you think about the cigarettes works, you've got to think... I like to view it as a form of suicide. You think people are so happy with their lives, but still they participate in this act that's a slow sort of suicide. As you kill yourself over, not instantly, but a period of years, and it sort of relates to Schopenhauer's theory of will and representation.
So, absolute corruption of life.
Exactly, that's all it is. I mean, the religion and spirituality teach us to be pleased that we've been created by an omniscient being, but you've just got to look at your own life and think that story's sort of bullshit.
Yes. When did you begin with spot paintings?
The spot paintings are something I created back in 1988, I think. It was at Goldsmiths and Marcus Harvey. It started off my dad on our front door at home. He painted spots onto the front door, and from that I've always had this sort of idea that the spot paintings will be something I'll continue throughout my life, and just this idea of these never-ending series of spots. I paint.
They basically continue then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my idea is that they'll continue forever. If you look back at my show that I had at the Gagosian earlier this year, I filled 10 Gagosian galleries with spot paintings. I've only ever painted 3 myself.
So the spots are always present as background to the rest of the work?
I think though, like when you sort of create an exhibition like at the Tate, the spot paintings are relevant in the whole practice of my work. But they sort of create that early canvas for colour, but they so well reflect the minimalism of the rest of my work, and such stuff as the medicine cabinets. You can draw parallels between the medicine cabinets and the spot paintings and the whole aesthetic of forming themselves through various titles.
So, well, if I did ask you, does it matter if they're big or small?
No.
Why?
The size isn't relevant in the process of the spot painting.
I see.
What?
Do you eat meat?
I love meat. I'm a prestigious carnivore.
What's your favourite meat?
Raw meat.
Raw. How raw? Juicily tender?
From the side of a cow.
From a cow. So,
Here and all.
Fair enough.
heron?
Heron.
Bear?
I'll eat swan.
Badger?
Swan.
I'll eat the fucking queen swan.
Swan.
What are your views on the Queen?
I don't really know how I'm supposed to answer this question on national television.
Wow. It's...
From childhood, I've not really had an opinion on the royal family. My opinions on the royal family come from the Sex Pistols. You know.
You stop clicking your card.
She's got a fascist regime.
Don't tell my interviewee to stop messing about with his
Interfering
cam.
with sound.
Who's your favourite artist?
What do you mean? By what sort of measure? I can't look back over time and say one specific as a favourite. You know, I love the stuff Laurel did in both terms of like marketing and media, but then the way the aesthetic of his work as well. You look back to Duchamp, you should see Duchamp as a pivotal figure for everything that I've created so far. If it weren't for him allowing the work he's already made, who knows where we'd have been now in terms of contemporary art. And you've got to look at Bruce Norman as well, and the stuff that he did with his lights and his words, the way he created his titles has really influenced my titles as well. Coastals as well, 1 in 3 chairs. It's this sort of birth of 70s conceptualism that sort of led me to where we are now.
I see. What is your view on the melting clock? Do you think there's too many of them now?
As in Dali's melting clock.
Yes.
I don't see how you...
Do you think he just stuck a melting clock and anything?
Well, no, because you know, Dali made the melting clock with I forgot what the piece is called, which is very stupid. But anyway, the persistence of
Memory.
Persistence of memory. My memory's not very persistent at the moment. You know, that was a fantastic painting when it was complete. Do I agree with all the views of surrealism? No, but the relevance of the time, it sort of really worked out.
What are your views on the lobster phone? How do you think that came to fruition?
How do I think the lobster phone came to fruition? Darling Bumwell was geniuses of another sort of kind that could really envision their dreams and what their dreams sort of... They understood the dreams and it just followed on to now. So I can't comment on that because I don't experience the same sort of dreams.
I see, yeah. I understand. I have a few questions from your fans.
Yeah.
Do you like 24?
I do actually. I really do like 24. I think the presence of Keith Sutherland as Jack Bauer's character.
I agree with it totally. 100% ambiguous.
Do you like 24?
I do, yes. Another one from, well, I can't pronounce that name on national television. It would be naughty of me at this time. But she says, would you ever get yourself out nude? Would you ever be naked?
Is that a silly sort of question? I'm renowned for being nude the majority of the possible time.
Well, I'll sort her out if I ever find her. She'll be buried in the woods. Hopefully clean shaven. Would you consider your handwriting to be lovely?
I fucking hate my handwriting. I think it's fucking horrible.
Another interesting question. When was the first time you had sex?
I was 14. It actually took me a long time to have sex. It was a complicated process. My girlfriend at the time, she was probably, I don't know how old girls are at 14, but she was like that. She was the height of a 14-year-old girl. Okay, and she was quite petite. Like, she didn't have any chub on her or anything, but like she had nice, decent sized hips for a 14-year-old. But she had a really tight pussy, and I had quite a big dick for a 14-year-old. So the process took a good, probably up to 25 times before the penetration really happened, because she really wept, like, even if it went in that far. So it was just a lot of frustration.
I see.
Trying to just perform the act of intercourse.
Intercourse, yes. What are your views on Nicolas Cage?
I like Nicolas Cage probably as much as I like Jeff Koons.
I see. Have you ever owned a Tamagotchi?
What's that gonna bring your leg?
Once.
Once? Did it die, or did you keep it alive?
Well, I just found it such an entertaining process just to keep picking up this digital animal shit. And it just sort of represented life and death at the same time within this sort of digital environment. So it removes everything from our world and puts it into this tiny digital environment. And we have such a response to this piece of computing. We have to actually understand whether, as a human race, we can deal with that sort of emotional contact with a machine.
I see, yes. What are your views on J.K. Rowling? Do you think she's a clever woman, or do you think she's just a stupid bitch?
See, the ironic thing for me to say is, oh, she's a stupid bitch, because that puts me in the Daily Mail tomorrow. If ever this becomes real, or televised, or anything else, this is pure slanderous, malicious activity, and it's just on my sort of level. And when you want to be an artist, you feel like you have a very specific purpose, and being an artist is such an egotistical job in the way that you think that you're helping the world somehow by creating these works for others, but really, as an artist, you're only doing it for your own satisfaction. And once you feel that you're comfortable with that sort of satisfaction, you can, if you were heading in that sort of artistic route, you believe in yourself that you want to. And once you start believing that there's a capability of becoming an artist, I think the egotism that comes with an artist enables you to believe that you're going to make it, and even if you don't make it in the end, the fact that you've held that belief for so strong for a period of time shows a lot about your character.
Bye.